Hello, my squishies. It is Friday night. It is 6 o'clock. It is needle felting time. Um, so, we do these live for those of you watching after the fact. So, I give everybody a few minutes that's joining us to get in, say hi, make sure that I've got some sound. If anybody can hear me, that would be great. Say hello. So while we're waiting on everyone to join, I will explain what is going to happen in this stream. So as I said, we record these live. Normally, sounds good, excellent, thanks, Mum. I chat to whoever is in the comments. So if you want to see who I'm chatting to and what I'm saying, you can click live chat replay somewhere down there, and you'll see that I'm not just talking to myself, although a lot of the time I am just talking to myself. We get up to a lot of nonsense in these live streams. And speaking of nonsense, hello nonsense. Robin has just joined us, who is the chief nonsense maker. So lots of nonsense goes on. So you're more than welcome to pause, fast forward, rewind. If you don't want to listen to the nonsense, you're more than welcome to mute me. I know Mum and Dad do sometimes mute me and are looking for a mute button in real life, but there is none. Yes. So fast forward, pause, rewind if I'm going too fast for you. So I'm still reading the comments and getting distracted. So hopefully in the next hour, we are going to, if you've never needle felted before, learn how to needle felt and needle felt an island in the sky, which is my sneaky way of saying it's a bauble with a Christmas bauble with an island on it. So we are going to make one of these. That's a wonderful island that you can just hang on your Christmas tree. I've actually got two here because we've made a couple already. And that is what we're going to needle felt tonight. So in your kits, because we will be selling these as a kit, you can get the kits on my website and on Etsy as well. You'll have a foam mat. So this is what, let's put the balls there. This is what we're going to use to protect our surfaces when we're felting. And barbed. And this end here has a hook on it. So you grab it by the not sharp barbed end, and always try and not stab yourself. I know that sounds very silly for me to say. There will probably be blood tonight. It's fine. So try not to stab yourself. If you can, have one hand away from whatever you're doing. And these needles do break sometimes. So if they break, make sure you find all the bits and dispose of them safely. I have a little plastic tub that I put them in, and then when that tub's full, I'll put it in the bin like a sharps container. But to mitigate breaking, try not to bend the needle as you're stabbing. Always stab in the same direction. So that's needles, the foam mat, and then the magic stuff. So this is what we're going to use to make our baubles. Here we have, they've all got different names, so, but they're all the same stuff. So this is slivers, and it's specifically Cheviot slivers. So it's come off the sheep, it's been washed, and it's been loosely brushed and formed into, so you can see it's still quite rugged, shall we say? It's rugged. Oh, hey Ruth, how's it going? You almost forgot Friday. Oh my, how could you? So these are the slivers. We're going to use this to make the shape of the bauble, because this stuff's quite rough. It's nice and quick to felt with. And then for the actual colouring on top, we're going to use these. These are tops or roving. Technically these are roving, but they do get called tops interchangeably. And these they're come off the sheep, and most of them, all of these are Shetland, from Shetland sheep. They've come off the sheep, they've been washed, dyed and brushed slightly more, and formed into these rope-like things. And there is a trick to working with these. So if you have your hands too close together, you are pulling against the individual hair, because you're you don't want to break it. We just want to pull them apart gently. So you want to have your hands nice and far apart and just gently pull, and it will come apart in nice sections like that. And if there's any twist in it, it's not going to come apart either, because twist is what holds it together and what makes it into yarn. So make sure it's not twisted, nice and far apart, and you can gently pull. And also in the kit there will be a tiny little bit of string or yarn as well. I don't know what yarn this is. I will know when I put it in your kits. I found this in my scraps box about 2 minutes ago. Okay, so let's get started. So to start off with, I want you to, of the slivers, put aside a tiny amount. So this little bundle is 0.5 grams, but it's just like a tiny, pull off that much and pop it aside. Because we're going to make the top of our bauble with that at the end. And the rest of it, we're going to, my brain is going to freeze. We're going to start making a round shape. So the way I like to start it is I grab a little bit, and everybody's different, and I floof it up. So make it nice and floofy, and then squish it back down again, which makes perfect sense. And I'm going to take my needle, I'm compressing this little floof ball and doing a few stabs, moving it, a few stabs, moving it, and just continually rotating it. Like this. I'm going to do this just a few times. So it's starting to hold together into a wee ball. It's still super fluffy. You can see this is not fluffy. This is super fluffy. So we're going to build up. I'm going to take another layer, and instead of scrunching it up, I'm just going to wrap it around this ball. And stab, 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 stab. Moving it all the time and aiming for a round-ish shape. Don't worry if it starts to look a bit wonky. That's perfectly normal. So I'm going to do that again. So I'm going to grab another bit of this and put it round. And you can see I'm being quite loose with ball shaped. It's going, but it will all round up in the end. And just stabbing all over. Now I was going to say here's one I prepared earlier and pull out a fully finished one, but it's surprisingly busy in the shop today, so I didn't actually get time. So you're going to have to, I am going to speed up a little bit, don't worry, but you're going to have to watch me, like 2 weeks ago, watching me felt a green cone for 45 minutes. We're going to felt a round white ball for 10 minutes. But I won't be too long. So the trick with this, well, in fact, while I'm just felting a round ball for 5 more minutes, in the comments, how are you all? What's been happening? What's for dinner? Tell me all the things. Oh, and in fact, yes, this is the perfect time while I felt a round ball to do the YouTubey things. If you could, even after the fact, leave a comment below, say you enjoyed the video, give it a like, subscribe. We're over 1,000 subscribers now, which is absolutely amazing. And every little bit of engagement helps. So if you could do all the YouTubey things, and also while you are in a subscribing mood, the chief nonsense maker in the chat, Robin, also has an amazing needle felting channel, and she's got actually a lot of Christmassy stuff on it, which is awesome for this time of year. And Her channel is Feltaholic. So Robin, chuck your channel name in the comments, please, so everybody can go and give you a like and a subscribe. And she's got a good few different baubles. She hasn't got an island bauble yet. That's your next one. Oh, yes. Wait, there is news about the shop. In theory, all going well, touching all the wood. This isn't real wood. The 15th of January. So, for those of you who've just joined for the first time and don't know what on earth is going on, or who on earth I am, hello. I have a small yarn shop and yarn craft shop in the wonderful little Highland town of Fort William. We've had... Thank you, Robin. I've had this shop now for 5 years. And I'm up the top of the stair. I'm on the high street, but up a set of stairs. I don't really have windows that you can see on the high street. And I've been there for 5 years. I absolutely love my wee shop. But we've just been given the opportunity to move to a high street level shop so there's not even a step to get into the shop. There's 2 big windows. We can do window displays, and we are moving middle of January. It is going to be so exciting. I have many spreadsheets of what's got to be done, what's going where, all of the things. And yeah, I'm so excited. My wonderful mum and dad are coming up to help get everything in order. And any volunteers in Fort William around the middle of January that would like to move a large amount of wool, please let me know. We'll appreciate all the help we can get. We have, thank you. We have a couple of plans. One of them involves a zip line from my old shop to my new shop, but I'm not really sure if that's a good idea or not. But we'll find out. It'll be fine. As long as all the wool gets there. And as long as it's not like the previous move. So I've started off in an even smaller shop, still in the same building and just across the hallway. And when I was trying to move from one shop to the other, it was just me doing it. And I tried to... Sorry, I'm just laughing to myself at the memory. I tried to leave all the wool on the shelves as I was moving the shelving units through. And anybody guess how well that went? No, yeah, it went about that well as you'd expect it to be. Okay, so I've left. I lied at the beginning. I am so sorry. Not only do you have to leave a tiny bit for the bauble at the top, but we also have to leave a little bit for our sea and our clouds. So I've left 2 little, so that's maybe a gram there that we've left. And this is starting to come together. It's looking reasonably bauble shaped. It's still very squishy, but that's okay. You can roll it around your hand as if you're like making a circle. Will also help to felt it up because the heat and the agitation. And if you're doing this along with me after the fact, I would say pause the video now. Felt for another maybe 10 minutes, just stabbing all over. 5-10 minutes, just stabbing all over until it's starting to feel like a firm orange. And then come back and we will start putting some colour on. But because we are live, I'm not going to felt anymore. I'm just going to pretend that that's firm enough. So if you paused, come back now. Welcome back. Hello. Now we're going to pop on some sky. So I'm going to take this blue, this is Dream, and we're going to grab a little bit and we're going to try and fill sort of just under the top half of this with blue. So you can lay it down nice and pretty or you can squish it up. They both give different effects. It depends. At this point, it doesn't really matter, to be honest, though. So I'm just going to squish and stab over. I'm going to work quite fast. So I'm going to try and fill in all the colours where I want them. And then we're going to go back in and add detail and make it pretty. So you don't need to get it perfectly felted at this point. So don't panic if you think, oh my god, you're going so fast. And the nice thing about felt, or one of the many nice things about felt, is if you put it in the wrong place, especially at this beginning stage while it's not thoroughly felted in, I can just pull it off and move it and then pop it back on. Now we were doing this, we've got a wee craft group on a Wednesday evening in the shop, and we were doing these baubles in the craft group, and when we got to this stage, it does look a bit like a lady with a blue rinse, and that kind of makes me happy. I want to be that lady with the blue rinse. There we go. So I'm not being neat just now. This is going to look messy. We are at the messy stage. Do not panic. We're only 16 minutes into the stream. And look how far we've got. The ladies managed in about an hour and a half to get a finished bauble. And they were so proud of themselves, and I was so proud of them going home with a bauble. I will be posting their photo on the Instagrams quite soon. Okay, so we've got oops, stab it right through. We've got a very rough blue sky. Don't worry, it will turn into this, I promise. Do not panic. I'm going to now put oh, that was my back clicking just there. I'm lost for words. We're going to do this. The sea. Those are words I'm looking for. We're going to do the sea now. So with this blue, it's called spearmint. I'm going to turn it on its head, and I'm going to fill the bottom half, but I want to leave about a finger's width of gap between the two. Oh, and nobody has asked yet, but I'm going to give you updates anyway. Madam Peanut, the shop dog, is gone to the pub without me again. My wonderful assistant Rosie has taken Peanut. I love her to bits, and she's a wonderful shop dog, but she does like a little bit of attention at this time of night. And when I'm felting, you guys have seen her, she just wants to cause chaos. So Rosie's taken her to the pub to go and get a half pint and a pizza. And she's promised me, I don't know if Rosie promised me or Peanut promised me, they're going to bring me a little cheeky pizza for after the stream back. And I'm going to take a little cheeky pizza home with me. And she had a great time at the pub last, what was it, when she was there a month ago now. Is that a finger's width? Nope, I'm going to pop this a little bit higher. Brilliant, Ruth, that's brilliant. Yes. Pop pictures. Have you got pictures? Put pictures in the Facebook group. We want to see them. Because your stuff is amazing. I am so proud of you. Also, how are you doing? Have you recovered from all the exciting dog injuries? And Robin, where have you been? Have you been on any adventures? And how are the kittens? Okay, we have sea, we have sky. It is super fluffy. Do not look at the size difference as well. And I've weighed these out, so they're both the same weight. That's how much it's going to shrink when you continue to stab it. Okay, now I'm going to do the... Excellent, I'm glad to hear it. We're going to pop in the beach. So with the beach, we've got two colours. We've got butterscotch and we've got tusk. So where the sand meets the sea, the sand's a little bit wet, so it looks a little bit darker generally. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to grab the darker one, butterscotch, and do a line, just a thin line around where the sea and the sand join. It doesn't have to be straight. This is the sea. It can be wavy. It can be lumpy and bumpy. And it can go thick and thin. That's totally fine. We are actually, surprisingly, going to cover this up in a minute. So don't panic. There we go. Almost all the way around. There we go. Perfect. So we've got our, so it's just under a pinky's thickness. And now I'm going to take the tusk and I'm going to cover most of this darker stuff and a little bit higher. Because when you pop it over, can you see how that suddenly transformed that dark into a nice gradient? So although we're covering it up for a reason. And don't worry if this join between here and here looks weird, we will fix that all in a minute as well. This is the stage we're starting to fiddle with things and enjoy the process. Ooh, you gotta wait 2 years. I think now is the time to snuggle up with the kittens and just relax for the winter. Have you got much snow where you are at the moment? Nope, I failed. It's Friday night. Why do I do these on a Friday night? My brain is mush at this point. So Fort William is at the base of the UK's tallest mountain, Ben Nevis, and the Ben has just started to get snow on it now, which is awesome. Okay, so you can see my very rough beach with little bits of the dark poking through. Perfect, that's what we're looking for. And then the one last major colour group we're putting on before we're going to give it like a good stab all over is the hill. So for the hill, we've got 3 colours. We've got, it's actually a really nice gradient. So we've got evergreen, hedgerow and olive. And we're going to do it in this order. Again, stacking them. So I'm going to start with, which one did I just say this was? Evergreen. And where the beach meets the sky. So you can decide how, you can have a look and judge how big you want your beach to be. So you can have a bigger beach or a smaller beach. I'm going to go for a sort of, yeah, pinky nail width beach. I'm just going to loosely stab this dark green line all the way around. The little hobbitses. Which of them has the ring though? That's the question. So don't worry if you decide to go over a little bit of your sand just now. This is a time where you're making that decision on how big your beach is. And if you've got a specific island in mind, you can follow that profile as well. So I've done my green band. I'm going to do my middly green band, so the hedgerow. And like before, I'm going a little bit over the one below, slightly less over the one below. So I've still got a band of the dark, and then I've got this. And don't worry if it looks striped. We're going for that just now because we will add detail in later on to make it less striped. It's looking so wonky just now. I absolutely love it. There we go. That's us gone round with that. And then I'm going to take, it's like a macaroon. I'm going to take the last one, olive. And now for the top, you want to have some wiggles. Again, if you've got an island in mind, try and copy that island. I don't, so I'm just going to wiggle. I'm going to pop this at the top. So this is where the sun would be touching the top of the mountains. So I've gone up there and down here. And I'm going to go up there again. And again, it doesn't matter if you go over the last layer. There we go. And we are right the way round. Okay, we have all the colours there. We've, as you can see, got a little bit of work to do, but if yours looks like a mess like this just now, you're doing it right. I am so proud of you. We are rocking this. Okay, so I'm gonna spend 5 minutes and just stab all over this. I'm in fact gonna take 2 needles at a time. I'm gonna hold them, and you can get holders for multiple ones of these. I will sometimes use a single holder. I don't particularly like the multi-holders. I don't feel I have as much grip, but lots of people love them, so please feel free. If they work for you, amazing. So I'm going to take a couple of these and being careful about what direction I'm going. I'm just going to stab, stab, stab all over. Can you see how it's squishing already? I'm going to do this for about 5 minutes. What else is new in the shop? Oh, I now have a 3D printer in the shop and it is amazing. I'm printing out loads of stuff, display things for the new shop, and soon I'll be 3D printing actual wool related things, which is super exciting. Oh, kitten news. Yeah, they fully know when they're not. So Peanut, I love her to bits. I keep saying, I have to preface everything with I love her to bits. She's wonderful. When she was tiny, I would give her felt balls to play with. Boy, was that a bad idea. Because now they're her favourite toy. She loves them. So I give her little scrappy ones now. But she keeps jumping up on my desk when I'm serving customers and stealing my prototypes off the desk. So what was it? Last week or in fact it was this week, she got one of my robins from the Robin live stream we did the other day. Oh, Robin, you have a 3D printer. Oh my god, okay, we need to share files. So there's been bits of felted robin all over the shop, and today she got one of the Christmas trees and was so happy with herself, and so now there is Christmas tree all over the place. I'm fine with it. It's fine. She's worth it. So as I'm stabbing round, I think she might be a cat. Yeah. Yep. I'm just making sure I'm stabbing equally all over the place and looking for any holes and and looking for fluffy bits and stabbing the fluffy bits, if that makes any sense. Yeah, so we've got bits of robin and bits of Christmas tree all over the place. And now when I roll it up, it does make it go wonky. That's totally fine. You just unwonkify it at this stage. And look, it's already starting to shrink. We're getting somewhere. But what's the time? Oh, we're half past. We've got plenty of time. So I'm going to keep going a little bit more so that we've got a little bit of a base to work on for all the little touches that are going to make this absolutely pop. It's like we're essentially doing a flat felted picture that we've done before. So we've all done these. But we're doing it in 3D. Not even, what is it, 3D? We're doing it on a curved plane. If you see any holes, just fill them in. Also notice I'm trying to keep these as straight as possible and not letting them cross over each other as I'm stabbing with both of them. Okay, let's put some details in because it's starting to come together. It's still quite squishy, but it's starting to come together. It's starting to look like a thing. Right, so first of all, we need to make where the sea meets the sand. That's the word I'm looking for. I'm going to take a little bit of the Cheviot, and now when I say little, can you see how tiny this fluff is? This tiny amount of fluff is going to straddle the join. This is going to be our waves lapping the sea. So I'm going to just, where the sea meets the beach, I'm going to go all the way around. With this white surf. Is that the word it is? Surf. Little waves in the surf. So I'm letting it bleed a little bit into the blue and into the white. And every time I see some, like a colour out of place, I'll just pop and move it. There we go, that's almost all the way around. That is very sensible. I can imagine. Baubles are just like play toys. Yeah, Peanut, she definitely looks at these and goes, mm-hmm. And then below, so I've gone right the way around the sea. I'm going to do some more waves. I don't know, can you see them there? And there. More waves just around the bottom. So again, taking a little bit of this and just slightly twisting it. And then I'm just going to lay it down around the bottom there, and then another one so it's not quite joining. Little waves. They don't have to be, they don't need to be perfect. They're not going to be perfect. They're going to be just the way that they are. There we go. How's that look when it hangs up? Perfect. And again, this is still quite fluffy, and the more you stab it, the more definition it will have. And if you don't like the way your waves are looking, what are you going to do? You're going to take it off and move it. Yes, you are. I'm so proud of you. There we go. You can tell I've stabbed on the bottom more than I've stabbed on the top because of the size difference. It's amazing how much it decreases in size as you go. Okay, so the sand I'm quite happy with. We don't need to do anything extra on the sand. But the next area we're going to tackle is the hills. We won't necessarily actually need to do too much for them, depending on how they're looking. If yours are looking like strips, boop, 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 you might want to do a little bit of texturizing. So I say, oh, texturizing. Yeah, wait till he's 3. It'll be fine. So I'm going to take some of the darkest green and scrumfle it up and let it just kind of blend the gap between the two. And then I'm going to take some of the mid green, scrumfle it up, and do the same again, just scrumfling and letting it be random, because what's going to happen is it's going to create like natural little, what looks like, you have snow, oh nice, little pockets of shadow and pockets of darkness and pockets of light. So we can create a lot of textural effect without actually doing any work. It's brilliant. So just taking little scrumfles of colour. Scrumfle is the technical term for this. And blending any gaps that we have. So you want to make sure that the tops stay light and the bottoms stay dark, but the in-betweens is where we can create all the, like I've got a very sharp line there. And it's also divoting a bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stab up, and that will straighten up that line. I'm going to add a little bit more of the middle there. And again here, it's a little, it's too harsh a join. I always get quieter and less talkative when I'm doing the delicate parts. You can tell as soon as I'm like, ooh, concentrate. Okay, I'm happy with my, you can see, accidentally it looks like there's like a hill far away, and then there, ah, perfect. That was not planned. Well, it was planned. I knew it was going to happen, but it was so easy. I'm just going to stab all over the hills and the sea again for a minute before we finish off at the sky. What time? Oh, plenty of time. We've got the sky and the top to go on, and then we're good. Okay, starting. It's now tight, tight, tight. Poof! I could feel it as well. It's so fun. Okay, so now for the sky, we're going to take a little bit more of our slivers and we're going to make some clouds. And I haven't done it on these two, but I want to try something. I reserve the right for this to go completely wrong and me to take it away and not do it. This is what we do at the end of this point in most streams, where I'm like, oh, I'm going to try something new live on camera with everyone watching and not like it. I'm going to take a little bit of the white, let's see, and highlight the edge where the blue, yeah, again, I reserve the right to not want to take this away. Oh no, I think we might be working. actually really nice. So I've taken just a really fine, yeah, I know. This is, Robin normally pre-does her videos and they're always perfectly produced and wonderful. Except for one, your live stream, which I adored. But then this is, you go to Robin for the well-produced, useful information, and you come here for the chaos. Chaos, and let's just see what happens. It'll be fine. Yeah, that just nicely, oh yes, blends. And you can see again how little I'm putting on. But that just highlights the edge of the hills quite nicely. And for me anyway. You don't have to do this. You can have perfect blue skies if you want to. I just really like this kind of misty look that you get over hills from the sea. Behind the scenes, Robin, are you absolute chaos? I don't believe it for a second. That looks good. And then I'm going to pop a couple more in the sky. Like more actual cloudy things to give it a bit of depth and perspective almost. Now I'm just making up stuff. Then I'm going to stab all over the top for a minute or two. Just to get the top matching the rest of it. I'm sure there was something else exciting that was shop news that I had to tell you guys. Oh, yes, I would love to see. Yeah, I just leave my bloopers in. I would love to see your bloopers at the end. That would be spectacular. It's not bloopers, it's learning moments. What shop news is there? There's definitely shop news that I was going to tell everyone. I started making to sell felt things. So you'll soon be able to buy the actual if you don't want to do it yourself, you will soon be able to buy the actual finished picture. Which is exciting. Oh, also if you're a knitter and you have lots of scraps lying around, you can also felt with or incorporate those bits of scrap yarn into your design as well. How's that coming along? Look at it's almost the same size. Would you have believed it? Still a little bit of tininess, a little bit of squishing to go. It's still, there's definitely a difference. But it's getting there. So I would say it needs maybe another 10 minutes of stabbing all over and it'll be as dense as that. And it'll all have squished in nicely, if that makes sense. But before we do that, we're going to, well, we need a way of attaching it to your tree. I did two sizes, one very big, one very small. You choose. It's entirely up to you. I'm going to go for smaller though. So to get the smaller one, you're going to take your tiny ball of fluff and we're going to stab it into a ball. Just real loose. So I'm just pulling, so it's starting to form into a ball. Give it a wee spin in the hands. We don't have to get this being very firm because once it's on we'll be doing a lot of stabbing. In fact, you don't want it to be very firm. Whoop! It ran away. At least I don't have a Peanut with me tonight to steal it. Peanut just now should, in theory, be enjoying her pizza. She doesn't get the whole pizza, but she does get, the kitchen staff there at the pub really like her. So she does get the odd little wee. This does not want to stay in place. She gets a little treat. So that's starting to feel a little bit firm. And I'm going to now take, I included some white in your kit, and we're going to take a little bit of the white, and if you're like me and you've got a messy felting block, I kind of don't want to get the other colours in, and I should explain what I'm doing while I'm doing it, that might help. So, oh, it is a complete offence to shut the door. I'm taking my little bit and putting the thing I made in the ball I made in the centre, and then I'm folding it over. So I've got this long tail and a ball. Let's see if we can show you both. Like that. And I'm going to just loosely secure one end, making sure to leave the long tail a long tail. This is where I'm likely to stab myself. I'm doing it on the edge of the foam mat so that it doesn't get other colours in it. Okay, that's enough for just now. It doesn't have to be thoroughly felted at the moment, because we're then going to take your bauble and find your axis. So I'm going to go, the centre top is about there. I'm going to lay the very tippity top of the tail and start stabbing it in, because I want this to be really nice and secure. And I'm going to stab it in until that, I didn't stab myself, almost. Yes. A lint roller is a very good idea. So now I'm pressing the top and stabbing all those bits in. I use a gleaner. I don't know if any of you guys know, it's kind of a yarn specific thing. It's like a lint roller but slightly sandpapery, and it just takes it off deliciously. So now, magically, that tail has disappeared, and this is fairly secure on it. But I'm going to make sure I do a lot of stabbing right the way through and into the bauble. So you can see my needle is making sure that it's locking this in. I'm so tempted to get those buttons for Peanut, but I worry that all she's going to say is like, treat, 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 as he figured it out. So I'm making sure to stab at angles as well until that is nice. You can see it's still a bit squishy, so I'm going to continue stabbing. And around as well. I kind of like the pillowy end look a little bit. I keep looking up at the comments while I'm stabbing quite viciously, and it's slightly scary. Okay, part one is done, and now we're going to grab the bit of yarn. With one end, I'm going to lay the end with about, what, a centimetre, a finger of extra. Stay. Can you see? Yep. And I'm going to start stabbing there. And I'm going to try and stab all of this extra in as well. So it just disappears. We're doing white on white, and that, once we've done the other side, once I've done the other side, and again, so I'm going to put in that little bit extra. In fact, I'm going to spin it round, so I'm going from the other side. Yeah, he's probably taught you. So again, I'm stabbing it in and making sure to incorporate that extra into the button. Oh yeah, into the button. This is the button at the top. And as well, so we stabbed down the way, you want to make sure and stab a few across at different angles to just nicely knot up all those fibres. Now my little button, it's now called a button, is feeling nice and secure on the top. Look at it. That's, yeah, I can give that a pretty good tug and it's not going anywhere. Okay, we're pretty much finished. What have we got? 10 minutes left. We've got 10 minutes of stabbing, but it's probably a good idea not to spend too much time tonight. You've felted long and hard and I'm very proud of you. But come back in a day or two with fresh eyes and finish it off then. Because you want to give it maybe a good, come back in a day or two and give it a good 10 minutes all over. Just stabbing. And you can see I am going quite deep into it. I'm not just on the surface. Oh, but yeah, Robin, message me about your printer. There's so much to do. It's amazing. It's currently printing out. It's working. I feel like I'm doing double the work when the printer is printing something and I'm working. So it's printing out some signage for the top of all my shelving units at the moment for the new shop, which looks absolutely spectacular. In fact, only the proper people are still here. So I'm going to show you. So on top of all of the units is going to have like what's in the unit. So this is the Made from Made in Fort William. And it's going to sit on its own little stickety thing. So much fun. I've had to learn how to use 3D drawing programs. And yeah. Designing my own files. When I should be, you know, moving shop. We don't talk about that. Yeah, every so often it's really good to give it a good smoosh, because when you smoosh it like this as well, it will help if you've got any like really big needle marks that you're worried about. It'll start to ease them up, and it'll show you. So my sky's feeling quite firm, but it's got a little bit of a soft bottom there, so I need to give it a little bit more under there. Now, how do you know when you're finished? Thank you, Ruth. Oh, Ruth, are you felting along with this just now? I would love to see yours. Also, you can sell these at your next craft fair. Oh, where was I going? I've forgotten. It's gone. It's gone into the ether. I'm sure it was very intelligent and important. If anybody can remind me of what I was saying. Oh yeah, I remembered. How do I know when it's finished? So it's done when you say it's done is the easy answer. If it's going to be in a high touch area, lots of people are going to fiddle with it all the time. So like say in my shop, I'm going to give this a really good felting over until it's like really quite firm. But stop before you Stop before you felt it too much. Don't ask me when that is, but you just kind of know. But if it's just decorative and you want to leave it a little bit fluffier, then you can stop whenever you've decided it's done, basically. Yeah, give it a nice wee roll, and that softens out any obvious needle marks and lets you spot any bits that are missing. In fact, I've spotted a wee little gap there, so I'm just going to add in a little bit more of that. Oh, I think I hear the door going. I think we might have a peanut back. Can I smell pizza? That's the question. So yeah, is there anything I've forgotten? Because I think if that is a peanut, I'd better wrap this up. And look at these guys. So this one still needs about 10 more minutes. Excuse me. 10 more minutes of stabbing all over. So does this one, actually. These two feel about the same. This one's nicely done. And we have our island, floating island. There we go. I don't actually have a proper name for these yet. I just put the stream as island in the sky because it's kind of floating. Island bubbles? I will figure it out. Thank you so much for joining me this evening. It has been wonderful as always. I would love to see your finished ones in the Facebook group. Please give me a like and subscribe. And thank you for joining me. And I'll see you in 2 weeks. Will I see you in 2 weeks? That's a very good question. Hold on 1 second. What is 2 weeks? Oh, 2 weeks is the 3rd of January. I will probably be here. I will see you in 2 weeks. Have a lovely Christmas, everybody. Enjoy, and I will see you in the new year. Thank you, my squishies.